Hey guys, J-Man here with Steve. I tried something different to get both of our intros kind of at the same time there, just so we can both be on. I can work it in. Maybe I can work it in so that it all plays together. But then that's me editing more stuff. So it's like, it is what it is. This is this is the first time I'm using the new camera for this. So it's like a wide. It gives you like a wide angle.
Yeah.
So you can see like more of my back.
Outcome. Yeah.
So this is actually the full wall.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's actually the full wall behind me now. And it's just easier this way too. And I'm using the computer's audio, so you guys can let me know in chat if my audio sucks. And so we got the wider angle. It should be clearer though. StreamYard, I don't have the 1080 StreamYard, so it's still better than my other camera. But I tried it with last week last week's 90s comics thing with Sean. So that I actually got that camera like 20 minutes before I went live with Sean talking about the 90s comics. So I thought, let me just quickly set up, and it comes with its own little stand. So I literally put it there, plugged it in, and that's it. And it's done. So it's a hell of a lot easier for me to do it this way.
Oh, hell yeah.
Than before. Oh, thanks. So, this really pissed me off. So this shirt is not an official WWE shirt. It's, and I don't know how if you can tell the colors exactly, but it's purple.
Yep.
It's from Redbubble, where they print whatever you want. So you just search the database. I get everything from TeePublic or Redbubble. And I was going to do orange for her hair with this. And then I don't have a lot of orange clothes, which means it would never get washed. But I didn't want it to just have black. I was thinking like maybe get purple or something. So I was like, oh, that purple looks good because we have other purple clothes that we can do the laundry together with purple. But then I thought, you know what? We don't do purple that enough. I'm like, let me go to the WWE shop and grab some official merchandise. So I started to add stuff to the cart, and there's a Canadian cart, which means that you're paying in Canadian. You're not paying all these international shipping fees and all this other stuff. I thought, oh, this is awesome. And so I grabbed a Liv Morgan shirt. There's a new shirt of hers that just came out. I got an Alexa Bliss shirt with her and Lily, and it just looks all crazy. There's a Rhea Ripley one that's like her like going, and it looks pretty cool. And then I was like, and then each one you buy, like it's like if you buy an item that's $31, you get like 25% off or something. Like it's like you keep getting more percentage off. So I was like, oh, this looks pretty good. And then I was like, okay, let me order. And I thought, you know what? I don't want to spend that much. I'm like, let me just I took away the Rhea Ripley shirt and just kept Alexa and Liv. Because Charlotte, her shirts are not that great.
Mm-hmm.
And Becky's shirts aren't that great. This one, I'm good with this one. So I'm trying to get someone who I like, but also the shirt has to be good. So Charlotte's shirts are not great. Like it's like her sitting on the throne and everything. I'm like, I like the ones that I was gonna get are wicked. Like so long story short, I didn't get them because I went to pay, and this is last night. I'm literally pay now, pay, and then it's like one of your items in the shopping cart does not go to Canada, and that was the Liv Morgan shirt, which is brand new. I guess they didn't have it in the Canadian store yet. I thought, okay. So I checked for Rhonda. I don't like any of Rhonda's shirts. It just says baddest or whatever. I'm like, you can get better Rhonda shirts through Redbubble. So I thought, okay, I'm not getting anything because I'm not going to just order one shirt and pay $20 or whatever it is shipping. It's going to be like a $50 t-shirt. So I'm like, oh, it's not that good. So I'll wait till that comes until that shirt becomes available in the Canadian store. So, okay, so what we're covering today is we're going to cover SmackDown from February 18th,
Right.
Elimination Chamber, which was on Saturday. and Raw, which was last night, so that's the 21st, right?
Right.
Okay, so I mean, SmackDown's going to be real fast, real easy, because it was just that stupid contract signing.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what we were supposed to get from it. The only news was the stipulation about Ronda had to wrestle with one arm
Right.
supposedly tied behind her back. We'll get to that later. But it was just like,
Which is
I
impossible.
yeah.
You can't have balance.
Yeah.
Like the way that they did it, where it's on the side.
Right.
Well, she kind of had it behind her back, and then she kind of just moved it to it, and it would have moved anyways because it's going to go around your waist. It's
Yeah.
impossible to keep it behind. But you cannot get your balance that way. Like it just would have been a terrible match, which we'll get to anyway. But yeah, anyway, continue.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, like, I mean, there was no matches, there was nothing. It was just that, and I was just like, they taped it obviously the week before because they didn't tape it and then fly to Saudi Arabia because that flight is I don't know how many hours, but they would have had to set up and get their costumes because you would have noticed. Well, we'll get to that, but like you would have noticed.
Well, they couldn't wear. You can't have
skin showing.
Yeah,
Basically.
I mean, look, I know. I didn't notice. You know, well, we'll talk about that in Elimination Chamber, but it wasn't obvious to me until something happened because I didn't research this. I wasn't thinking about it.
Yeah,
I came to the realization on my own while watching it at a certain point, and I'll tell you when. Yeah, so basically that contract signing, which just ended with them fighting each other, which is just rubbish.
It was complete rubbish. Other than the hand, like Naomi and Becky, Ronda bantered. Sure.
Yeah, I mean, that was fine.
Yeah, that was it. I mean, it was kind of disappointing. You, again, before Saudi Arabia, before the Elimination Chamber, you could have had more, but it just seemed they were just phoning it in until they got over to Elimination Chamber. I'm going to say that I don't like them going to Saudi Arabia, and it has nothing to do with politics or religion or anything. It's just that everything becomes filler before then, right? Because then they just, well, like there's so much prep they have to do in Saudi Arabia. Like the shows before it are just like whatever, just,
Right, because just the length of time to go anywhere outside of North America, it's just too far.
Right. And, the security concerns. Last time they went to Saudi Arabia, they weren't allowed to leave the country for a while. Apparently they were held hostage until they paid money or something. It's just, if I was a paying fan for that SmackDown, I'd be pissed because you're basically just like nothing. It's like, yeah, well, the next important thing is Saudi Arabia. You guys are an afterthought. Like, it's disappointing. And that's why I never liked them going to Saudi Arabia, just because they treat everything like an afterthought. Then they get there, do their shtick, and then it seems to like resume again. So,
yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, the SmackDown was rubbish. So let's get to Elimination Chamber itself. Our predictions where we had some predictions, and the first thing was Liv and Nick. Okay, so this is the Elimination Chamber itself. So Liv and Nikki started it off, and overall, I'll just give the breakdown quick, and then we can get into the details. So Liv and Nikki started it. Then Dewdrop came in, and then Rhea came in, and she eliminated Nikki. Then Alexa came in, and Liv eliminated Dewdrop. Then Bianca came in, and I have so many notes here that it's like hard to read because it's like you're trying to not miss anything. And then Alexa eliminated Liv, and then Bianca eliminated Rhea, and then Bianca eliminated Alexa.
Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah.
Is that right? Did I get it right?
Yep. Sounds about right.
Okay.
I know Alexa eliminated a couple people. I think it was funny seeing the costumes, because I knew they had to wear full length costumes, because the year before they actually allowed the women to compete. Yeah, I agree with that. Double C. You know what, they do the European tour. They go to Japan once in a blue moon. Like, going to Japan's kind of worthless because New Japan Wrestling is king there, or whatever. They do like overseas stuff, but like Saudi Arabia is just a little too sketchy, and they don't want the women to like show anything. It's a bit rubbish to me. It's all money. They're getting a ton of money to go, so whatever. But
well, they did have them on billboards, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I mean, they're getting better. Like, they let the women compete last time, and it was Natalya versus Lacey Evans, and they were wearing the full bodysuits. So I knew it was the full bodysuits. I did like how they sort of stylized them this time. So like Liv Morgan had the Britney Spears "Oops, I Did It Again" outfit. Yeah. Rhea's was cool. They were all pretty cool. They were all like fit the characters.
So I didn't notice. I didn't know any of this, right? Because I didn't know any of it. So I'm watching. I'm like, okay, I did not. I noticed it with Charlotte.
Yeah.
When Charlotte came,
I'm
like, why is she wearing that? That's weird. And then my wife, who's Indian, she's like, well, they're in Saudi Arabia or something, aren't they? I was like, yeah. I was like, oh my God. I'm like, wow, I did not pick up on that. Yeah. But I was thinking, why is Charlotte wearing, like, she wore like a full thing right up to her neck, and I'm like, well, that's weird. And I'm like, oh, there you go. It's like, okay, that makes sense now. They did tailor it to, like, they tailored it so well that I didn't notice it until Charlotte came out, because then I'm like, well, Charlotte wouldn't be wearing that, right? That's weird.
Yeah.
Okay, so Liv and Nikki started it off, and like, I like Liv Morgan a lot. Nikki was pretty good, so they were doing pretty good. Dewdrop comes in. I like Dewdrop's full outfit. Actually, I thought it looked cool.
Nikki took some brutal bumps in that one. Like, Dewdrop was like banging her around pretty good. Like, she was bouncing her off the cage, I guess, or whatever the hell it's called, and then like splashing her and stuff. I'm like, well, Nikki's getting her money's worth this match, man. She got hammered pretty good.
Well, I thought it was awesome. I thought the Elimination Chamber match was freaking awesome, man.
Well, it showed a lot of the talent of these ladies. Like Liv Morgan, I thought she broke her leg at one point when she got hung upside down, and then Dewdrop came over and saved her. I'm like, she just broke her leg in half. Like, Alexa Bliss showed why she's so talented, and with that Twisted Bliss like spinning splash and stuff, and she had the DDT, and she's going to do Sister Abigail on Bianca. She was the one. I was kind of disappointed that Rhea and Bianca Belair didn't get into it a bit more, like, because they are evenly matched in my opinion.
Well, they did when they did the holding up.
Yeah,
and then the one arm.
When Bianca was holding up Liv with one arm, I was like,
what the heck? That was crazy.
Yeah, that was sick. Like, when she was doing that, I was like, is that for real? The woman has ungodly strength, like ungodly.
That was all. I mean, I don't know. I thought the Elimination Chamber match itself was damn good.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I would consider getting this one, because I like on DVD or something, because I thought it was like that match itself was worth it for me. The whole thing was worth it for that.
Liv doing that somersault power bomb on Dewdrop, like, I was like, are you joking?
Are you crazy? Yeah. Like, I mean, I don't know. Like, they really did a lot of crazy stuff. I was trying to take notes here. My notes are utterly like garbage, right? Like, because I'm trying to watch, right? So you're like, oh, what was that? And then you're like, okay, what happened there? I can't even read what I wrote here. I'm like, top rope. Did something happen with like someone with Dewdrop going over the top rope or something, or I can't make out what I wrote here. I literally wrote one arm. I'm like, okay, one arm. Oh my god! And I don't even. I'm like, wait, what was happening? I just know that Bianca did something with the, and so it's like I'm trying to make out what I wrote here. But yeah, so
Poor
so
Rhea Ripley
Rhea,
too. She got the skirt like
that was
Alexa's
funny.
skirt in
She
her
was
face
moving
when she's trying to she's trying to get out of her face.
Yeah, so Rhea eliminated Nikki, which we knew that was going to happen.
Yeah,
we predicted Bianca, I think, didn't we?
We did.
Yeah, so that was a no-brainer, really. We didn't. That's not even a prediction. But Alexa came in. Liv eliminated Dewdrop, and then Bianca came in, and then Alexa eliminated Liv Morgan.
Yeah, she hit her with Twisted Bliss.
Yeah, which is fine. Bianca eliminated Rhea.
Yeah.
Which was great. And then it was Alexa versus Bianca in the end. So at any point in time, did you think that maybe Alexa would win it because they'd give it to her to? No, I didn't think so either. I was pretty certain of this one.
Yeah, they have the whole you pin me in 26 seconds at SummerSlam thing. The problem is that they've already had a program with Becky and Bianca. And Becky won pretty decisively, in my opinion. Like, she cheated and stuff, but like Bianca had a couple of shots. That's why they in Raw she made the illusion, you told me to get to the back of the line, so I did. She gave her a couple of shots. She wasn't successful. What about this match is going to make me think that the outcome's going to be any different? Like, I would have liked to have seen someone else get a shot, but Bianca's just too special a talent. Like, she's incredible. So
yeah. No, that's true. Okay, so did you like the Elimination Chamber match?
I did. I thought, was there any like bumps that I thought were insane? No, but once again, you're in Saudi Arabia. I don't know how they would take to women flying off the top of the chambers or off the top of the fence or something, right? Like, they still had to play it fairly safe.
And there's no blood anymore in WWE, period.
No,
right?
you can't do headshots. No more blading, nothing like that. It's PG, which is funny because when we were watching the Attitude Era, we were kind of like, I wish they wouldn't make it so like over the top all the time, and so like, and now it's like gone the exact opposite way, and you're like, well,
I'm okay with it because it didn't enhance anything for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even when I was younger, I'd be like, oh, he's bleeding, and I'm like, as soon as I found out that they do the blade jobs and they cut themselves, I was like, oh, that's dumb. Like, that immediately just made it dumb, because if someone really was bleeding, you're like, oh no, that was like a big hit. Wow, this is crazy. But if they're doing it for themselves for dramatic effect, then that just made it lame to me. I'm like, it's just like, I'm like, how dumb are you? Like, why would you do this? Like, I don't see the point. So I'm okay with them getting rid of that because it was kind of silly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it was a good match. Highlighted some things. Liv Morgan is generally the MVP. Like, she did some really great moves again. But you had a group of very talented women competing in this one. So, I mean, it's not, as long as you just let them, give them the time to showcase their talents, you're not going to get a bad match.
Yeah, no, I liked the Elimination Chamber. I saw last year's through the WWE app, so that's how I caught up on that. So this is really the second one I had seen. I really like this format a lot. Yeah. I like how there's no under the ring. It's just like a flat, like a whole flat surface, and then guys come out or girls come out, whatever. I like that a lot. So yeah, I thought it was really pretty damn good. Okay. So then we had Naomi teaming up with Ronda versus Charlotte Flair and Sonya Deville. And Ronda had to have one arm. Well, it was supposed to be behind her back, but it kind of moved to the side. Ronda came out in her gi that she used in the Olympics. That was really neat.
Yeah, that was
now
cool.
I recognized it instantaneously because I watched as many Ronda things as you could possibly watch on YouTube. And I looked up her record prior to her even coming to or at least her return to WWE. But we had predicted that Naomi would pin Sonya. Now we knew that Sonya was going to be the loser.
Yeah.
But actually Ronda made her tap.
Yeah.
Which we can discuss whether that works or not. The one arm thing, you can't actually fight properly with one arm like immobile, but Ronda made it work pretty damn good. Like I was a bit like, it's not, look, it was wonky, but it's going to be wonky because it's one arm missing. And you just can't make it not wonky. But that one part where she did like a thing and kneed her, like she kind of went up and kneed her. I should get the figures and do it. That was freaking pretty good.
Well, like doing the Samoan drop, one arm was pretty cool because usually you need both arms for that. Yeah, it was, and they did the right thing with making Ronda take some punishment because of that, right? Like if she took no punishment and she had one, like that'd be like absurd. So I think that was a good idea. Gave Naomi the hot tag, which is awesome. Naomi had the best bodysuit of all of them, I think. Like it's very like it was like glow in the dark and stuff. I thought that was really cool.
I didn't notice. I didn't think anything of it.
Yeah.
Because I always see Sonya Deville in full. Like I don't really know what she wrestles in.
Yeah.
She's always fully dressed. Naomi, I thought, oh, she's just wearing this colorful outfit, you know. Ronda's wearing the gi, so that makes sense. And then it's like Charlotte. I'm like, oh, why is Charlotte wearing this weird red onesie thing? I'm like, what is this? I thought, oh, this is not a Charlotte Flair outfit at all. And literally the match is going on. And I'm like, why is this happening? And then I couldn't. I wish I'd known beforehand because I spent so much time thinking about why this is happening. And then, my wife was like, yeah, it's like they can't show skin. I was like, really? Are you? I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, what an idiot. And then I'm like, oh, it makes sense now. And I'm like, oh, Rhea Ripley didn't, because Rhea Ripley literally works out every day. So it's like, why isn't she showing off her muscles and all that? And I thought, oh my God. And they had Dewdrop and everything. I was like, oh. And then you see Becky and you're like, well, Becky, that's right. That's like, okay,
that's absurd.
But yeah, did you think the one arm thing? Like, I guess it worked because we're saying that we want Ronda to take punishment, but not take punishment in her full form. So she's incapacitated by having one arm gone. So it's like, yeah, she's allowed to get beat up now because of the one arm missing or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, this match, they did what they could, considering that you can't have Charlotte look weak. No one's buying that Ronda's losing.
Right.
The only other alternative was Naomi loses due to shenanigans because Ronda can't help her because she does have one arm. Like, that was the only other alternative. I don't think you have that happen when Ronda Rousey's been bragging on social media that she could beat Sonya Deville with one arm tied behind her back. Which is why we probably got the ending we did. I don't know. It was kind of a match where you didn't have many options, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It didn't do anything for the Charlotte Ronda like rivalry. It was just basically finishing off the Sonya Deville Naomi thing if it is finished off.
I don't think it is because nobody won against the other. This was just tag matches. Tag matches where the participants are not a tag team are always rubbish.
Yeah.
They always, like, I mean, I think back to Mega Powers, right? Or all that stuff like that. I just immediately think of like, oh yeah, there's going to be something stupid or whatever. or it's just pointlessness. It's just like, we need an excuse to have these 4 people in a match. We need to have Ronda get beat up a little bit. So let's have her get her arm tied behind her back, and then she makes it. Would have actually, our prediction would have been a better booking. That would have been better.
Yeah.
If you wanted to have it somewhat, or even have like Ronda, maybe, something happens to Ronda and she gets knocked out or something, and she's out of the ring, and then Sonya and Naomi go at it, and make it more like it was almost like a Sonya, Naomi match. Yeah. Unless that match is going to be at Mania, in which case that's going to be a super filler, match to just have. That'll be the bathroom match, I guess. I don't know. Like, I'm not really getting much out of this storyline with the 2 of them.
No, the only way you get anything out is you turn Sonya Deville loose, because Sonya Deville, when she first came to WWE, was part of Paige's villainous Absolution faction, and they were beating up everyone. And even after that, Sonya tagged with Mandy Rose, and they were called Fire and Desire. And Sonya was the legit fighter in that. I can see it too, Double C.
Yeah, that's going to happen.
The only way you make it interesting is to put it in a cell. Put it in a cell. Then it's not a filler match. Then you're going to see, like, what the hell are these 2 women going to do? And turn Sonya loose. Like, turn her loose to show her the legit fighter she is. Because right up till now, she's been Ronda and Naomi's punching bag. The only reason she's gotten anything over on Naomi is because she's either had a numbers advantage, or Naomi's been incapacitated or something, or she's used her authority, right? So make it a legit Hell in a Cell match that I would watch. Anything else, just a regular singles match, as you said, bathroom match. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, they'll have to do something, because I like both of them, but they just need to. I don't know. They just need to add some flair to that drama. Just something. I don't know. Like, I don't know what they can do now, and compare it. Like, they used to be able to do whatever angles they wanted, and it would be really outrageous. Like, you'd have some really crazy stuff going on. Now they've toned it down a little bit, but in doing so, you've kind of removed certain story options that you had before, where you could do really crazy stuff. But I don't know. Yeah, we'll have to just see where it goes. It'll definitely be at WrestleMania, so we know that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Anyway, Ronda made Sonya tap. I mean, that's a bit, even that's a little bit, like, not great in my opinion. Like, does Ronda really need to do the thing? Like they're pumping up Ronda so much, but Ronda doesn't need to have extra hype. It's like, don't take anything away from Sonya to make Ronda. Like, everyone's already pumped up for Ronda. I'm pumped up for her. Like everyone's already pumped up for her. So she doesn't need anything extra. So there's no point in having, like, that's why our idea was better. Naomi just beating Sonya and being like, okay. And they could have made it in some weird thing. Like, Ronda did something and then Sonya got knocked out and didn't realize it. And then Naomi pins her, and it's almost like, oh, you only pinned me because Ronda, hit me from behind or some crap. It's like, why don't we settle this at WrestleMania, Hell in the Cell or something crazy? I don't know. Have they ever done? I guess they've never done Hell in a Cell female, have they?
They have. I think they have. Yeah, I think Bayley did it against someone.
That's awesome. I'll see if I can find that on the app. The WWE app, if it's like a 1 or 2 year old event, they'll have it for free.
Yeah.
Like, you can watch a lot of events on here. I just put my iPad up. I've got like a stand. And I think the Amazon Fire Stick, you might be able to sign into WWE on that. And if you can, I can watch it on my big screen TV.
Well, that'd be awesome.
So, I mean, that's it's a no-brainer. Okay. Then we had Becky versus Lita. I mean, we said Becky, right? Like, it was clean. Yeah. It was the manhandle slam.
It was weird though, because of how they shot it, what the angle the director went to, because so Lita did the 2 big moves, which was Twist of Fate and the Lita Salt.
Yeah.
Becky barely counted, or like kicked out. Lita was all like, how the hell? Yeah, like, how the hell? And then it went like in. And it was Lita like picking up Becky, and it was like right in on like Lita's arm. And then you just saw like Becky maneuver around and then hit her. And then it's like 1, 2, 3. And it's like, that's the weirdest. Like, if you want to do that, you should have gone back to a master where we could see both people fully and you could see Lita picking her up.
Yeah, I noticed something very weird too. I can't, like, you're explaining it better. I thought something looked weird too.
Yeah.
During that, I'm like, wait, what's happening? Like, there's a point where I'm like, what just happened? Or did I like? It was weird. It was almost like a Jason Bourne movie where you have people who can't actually fight and they're trying to mask it or something by having like a weird. And I'm like, what's happening here? I mean, we knew Lita was going to lose, but it seemed, I don't know. It seemed the match was like okay. I it should have been better.
Yeah.
Than it was. Maybe Lita can't do as much as maybe we thought, or they felt that they were being held back. Like the Elimination Chamber match to me was just like awesome. Like, you know, let's say 8 out of 10 or something. Like I thought that was friggin' awesome. And then the tag match was like, I don't know, like 6 out of 10, 5 out of 10. Like it's like, okay, it's a match. This match should have been like, you know, an 8 out of 10, but I felt like this is maybe like a 6. Like it was okay, but I felt that just some things didn't work as well. I don't know. I don't know. I don't rate matches. I have no, like, you know, we do our movie ratings. I don't know how to rate a match. We should come up with a rating. We should come up with a rating system. That'll be our homework. Let's come up with a rating system for matches. But I literally thought that, like, you know, this should have been like an 8 out of 10 or something. Like, and it just didn't feel that way.
No, it didn't. And I think it's because Lita didn't get a lot of offense in. It felt like usually it's a back and forth, but it seemed Becky was beating her up pretty good for like most of the match. Becky's one of the best, if not the best, for telling a story in the ring. Like when she misses a pin or something, she's like blown away.
She's so funny.
She's stunned.
I know she's supposed to be a heel, but she's so funny. She's like,
yeah,
she's so I can't. She's so funny. She just has this face where I'm like, I could tell you're having a good time.
Yeah,
and you're enjoying this. And it's just like a very cute. She's like, it's just a very cute face. It's like she's trying to be all mean. And when she comes in and she's mean, I'm like, this is too much. I can't take it. It's so funny. I'm like, no, you're not a bad person. You're not mean at all. I can see right through it. She's a terrible villain. Yeah. Because maybe people do find her villainous. I find her awesome no matter what. She's just like, her talking is the best. And she's like, yeah, I'm, you know, whatever. I'm the best. It's like, yeah, you are the best. It's like, yeah, these people suck. And when she's all like, what? No, how did she kick out? I'm like, yeah. It was like, you know, it was like, no, what? Oh, it's so funny. I'm going to try to find a GIF or something for that and post that, her shock. Like, what?
Yeah. She's great at telling that story in the ring. It's just, it's Lita. I don't know if she just can't perform anymore or they didn't want to let her pose a possible threat to Becky. I have no idea what they were doing, but it was like most of the match I was just watching Lita get beaten up and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I mean,
like usually there's some really good back and forth with an awesome match where someone hits a move. I will say that the WWE is really good about not letting people kick out of finishers as far as the females go. Like if Rhea Ripley hits that Riptide, that person's losing, right? Like Bianca Belair hits the KOD, that person's not kicking out. This is the first time where both finishers were hit and Becky kicked out. And I'm like, wow, she's Becky, cool. But then it just ended. And I'm like, that was the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, I don't get it. Becky makes matches better than they should be. She's very entertaining. Lita's a phenomenal athlete. she just didn't get a chance to be a phenomenal athlete. I don't know what else to say. Like, it was just Lita getting beaten up. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, I know. It was just weird. I'm like, this should have been like way better.
Yeah.
So like coming into the chamber match or coming out of the chamber match, it's like, yeah, man, this is like so good. I'm like, that was really good. And I know that there's limitations with where they were and all that, but I'm like this is all great. I don't mind that they had the full body suits that fit the characters. Like it looked like I almost felt that it was almost like a special.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is a special outfit,
Yeah.
And well, that all ended right after the chick, because as soon as the Charlotte, I'm like, oh, that doesn't look good. Becky's thing was weird too. I'm like, no.
Why would you put Charlotte, who is like one of the best built people in the WWE, in like, they
could have done something. It's like they could have done something a little bit better with that. And Becky's was just like this black. It's like, oh, okay.
It was like a gray like suit, and I'm like, those were the two that should have been better. Right.
Yeah.
Charlotte should have been all gold. Right. And Becky should have been like crazy colors and stuff. Like, it should have been like her. Yeah. Or orange or something.
Which is why, I didn't notice with the others, because Dewdrop still had sort of like a Scottish kind of pattern.
Yeah, the plaid.
And Rhea Ripley, she just has the full leather thing.
Yeah, and there was like, it looked a bit like the cat suit where you saw some of the stitching and stuff. It worked, right?
It looked like a goth kind of a thing.
Yeah, Nikki basically wears a bodysuit every time she appears anyway.
Nikki's fine, so she's got her costume. Liv can kind of wear what she wants to, like it depending. Like, she made it look like the Britney thing, which is kind of like neat.
Yeah.
And then Alexa Bliss just wore her normal thing pretty much, with just long sleeves, like.
Yeah. And the full suit instead of like the pantyhose or whatever she wears.
Yeah, but I mean, I didn't notice it. I didn't notice it with any of those characters.
Right.
I only noticed it with Charlotte, and I was like, whoa. And then I was like, okay, now I get why. So maybe looking back, if I rewatch it, maybe I'll think like, oh, it's like, that's weird now, but I'm okay with it. But the last two matches were like, okay, like tag matches where they're not tag teams. It's like,
yeah, there's no drama around it. It's just like, no one's going to swerve. No one's going to turn. The only one who might have is Charlotte may have walked out on Sonya. But Charlotte was just like, hardly was in there. And it was pointless to have her there. It was just like Sonya was the one who was in there mostly. It should have just been,
they should have just had Sonya versus Naomi then.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then I guess you want to have Ronda and Charlotte do something. I don't know. Maybe Ronda could have fought someone else. And Charlotte could have fought someone else, or they could have done a tag match with like two other people and not ruin the Sonya Naomi thing.
Yeah,
but it is what it is. Okay. So Raw, this is last night's Raw. We had Rhea versus Nikki for the 400th time. Guess who won, right? Like, really? I mean, as soon as Rhea Ripley came out, I was like, oh yes. And then it's like versus Nikki. I'm like, oh, like, stop it. Like, I don't know what I think they've got these two people and they don't know what the hell to do with either of them.
Well, I mean, I was in the shower yesterday and I was thinking about this, strangely enough, and I'm like, what they should do with Nikki is very obvious. She should come out and be like, well, if I'm only going to almost be a superhero, then I might as well be a super villain, and make her a Lex Luthor villain where she has a couple of monster heels under her tutelage. Like, you can have Dewdrop and maybe someone on NXT who's one bigger, or even Rhea, right? She turned to Rhea, and she's basically like Lex Luthor, directing them and telling them what to do and laughing and like, that would be interesting. That would at least, and she would have bigger people do her bidding for her because she's not that big.
Right.
And that would be somewhat more interesting than what she's doing now. Because she's just, she did that whole thing where she was yelling at the commentator. She's like, I'm almost a superhero. She's a villain, blah, blah, blah. And I just like the reaction. They kind of cheesed her. Like they kind of did nothing with it because they're like, she's Scottish. I only understood like 3% of what she said. I'm like, that was better than the match I was watching.
That was the funniest thing that happened in that match.
Yeah. Like it does nothing for either person. They should just cut to almost a superhero thing and make her Nikki the supervillain or whatever. Nikki Cross supervillain or whatever you want to do. Like it's just pointless. Like, okay, Rhea's just going to squash Nikki and continue on her merry way to nowhere land because she's not getting in the title match. The only thing, here's the thing, I would have had something where Rhea Ripley interrupted the whole Becky thing and said, well, wait a minute, Bianca, I should have got my shot by now. Why should you? And evenly match again and make it a triple threat. Like, because Bianca versus Becky we've done. So put someone else in there for God's sake. Like, make it a little bit more.
Still, WrestleMania, we still got a full month and more, right?
Yeah.
Mania used to be every April, I think, is when it was.
Yeah, I think it's the first weekend in April.
Okay. So is there any other pay-per-views before then? No, right?
I don't think they're doing anything in March. They may be, I don't know.
No, I don't think I've seen anything. So that'll be it. So they can quickly craft something where someone inserts themselves, or for Nikki, if we follow your villain idea, maybe her and Alexa Bliss could form like a villain team, and there could be another person or something, Dewdrop maybe, and who are like, call themselves, League of Villains or something. I don't know. And like Alexa might think that she's not a villain. She's like, no, I'm not a villain. I'm a hero. and it's like, yeah, you're a hero. Don't worry, And Nikki could just be called Cross.
Yeah.
Like literally just like I would just call her Cross. And have Alexa Bliss. So it's like Cross, Bliss, and Dewdrop. Although Dewdrop seems like maybe she wouldn't be able to fit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what you were talking about, right? You like that was the better. Did you think that was better, Steve? Nikki?
Yeah, I agree. Nikki was a bit of an unstable person when in NXT. She was a bit of a lunatic, and that's how she was when she first came up WWE.
Yeah, have them be the villains, right?
Yeah, they were the tag champs. They were best friends, and Nikki was the unstable one.
Now they're both unstable.
Yeah, now they're both unstable.
Call them the unstable molecules.
The one thing I will say too about the Elimination Chamber is I didn't understand what Alexa Bliss's character is now. She just came out and like she's a person who needs to have that character now in the ring because they were doing all this stuff with the psychiatrist and that, and I'm like, okay, and then she was just her. Like she had to swing in the
swing. She had
which
a
is
swing.
Funny because that was what she had before. I mean,
it's like what if the wrong person went into that one? Like, I know that's like a fun thing, but it always kind of takes me out a little bit. I'm like, well, wait a minute. What if Rhea Ripley went into that one? Like they don't all have swings, so how did she know that's her chamber? I don't know.
Well, I think they directed her to it for some reason.
Yeah, like is that a thing? Like, do you go to a certain chamber? Like, what's the difference? Yeah. Right? Like
you're told where to go because I think they need to know because they have the order already worked out, so they have to make sure to go to the right chambers.
What happened with that Lashley? What's the guy's name?
Bobby Lashley.
Was that real? Was he really concussed?
It was real.
That was real?
It was real. Yeah. Yeah. That was unexpected because Brock Lesnar kicking his way out of his chamber was not scripted. He did that on his own.
Oh my God. So wait, because that guy got knocked into
one of the support struts.
And it literally hit. So it hit Lashley.
Yeah.
And knocked him out.
Right.
And he got removed from the chamber.
Legitimately.
So, but then how did Brock Lesnar win a belt?
Brock Lesnar, I feel, was always the scuttlebutt what he was always going to win because it was going to be him and Roman at WrestleMania champion versus champion. That's what they wanted to do. But Brock was supposed to come in last. And I guess he figured, wow, Lashley's gone. I'm not waiting another 5 minutes. He literally kicked his way out of his own chamber.
That is hilarious.
I'm like, well, this is the problem, though. You're building the other guys like Seth Rollins and Austin Theory and AJ Styles. You're like, oh, you know, and you put them in there, Brock Lesnar. I'm like, Brock Lesnar's winning. Like,
yeah, that's just silliness.
The only guy who can go toe to toe with him is Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley,
and he's knocked out.
Has been removed. You might as well. Maybe that's why Brock just kicked his way out. He's like, I'm not waiting another 5 minutes. I'm going to. Like, and he F5'd that one guy off the top of the chamber.
So he is. Well, that really sucks for this Lashley fellow. Like, he just got all of this hype, and now he's done.
Well, he was champion a couple times. He's a legitimate UFC guy.
Right.
You know.
Okay. Like, I mean, what I just wanted to know because I was just like thought that was really weird.
It was weird because like, why would you book that? Like, people come to see Bobby Lashley fight, guys. If you booked him to get injured, that would be like really bad, like really, really weird.
Well, that's why I wasn't sure if that was real or not because I'm like, why?
It looked weird to me, but I was like, no, this is legit. What I didn't expect was Brock Lesnar to literally kick his way out of his chamber. Like, I'm like, this guy's just a lunatic.
Well, that made it more exciting.
It did, and then he just literally destroyed everyone. And they're saying Bobby, he's in concussion protocol. I don't know. It was just really, really weird. I was like, okay.
Yeah, that was okay. Well, anyway. So should we talk about this Dana Brooke 24/7 champion thing? I mean, how dumb is this?
This is probably, I mean, it was funny last week because like they're at the restaurant. I mean, this is just like, it's not boss man level, but it's pretty bad. Yeah. Like, they're at the restaurant and Richie's like, oh, I want to be more than friends. And she's like, no. So he pins for the 24/7 championship. I'm like, what the hell is going on? And then this one, she's like kissing him, and I'm like, well, they're giving her something to do because usually she's just like blonde jobber, you know, blonde athletic jobber, but it's just like ridiculous. The 24/7 thing is just give like the comedy character something to do.
Yeah, it's the comedy belt. Like, okay. Yeah. You'll be the comedy relief, and then you'll just get a belt for that. It's like, okay, 24. Like, why wouldn't Brock Lesnar just go and beat that person and then just take it? Like, why wouldn't Brock Lesnar get 2 belts and then go pin the 24/7 champion and have 3 belts?
You know, and like the 24/7 championship is so bad. I've seen the commentators win it. Like the commentators went like one Corey Graves pinned someone and he was celebrating, and then the guy who sits next to him rolled him up and pinned him for him.
I mean, yeah. So Dana Brooke. So wait, I can't remember if she kept. Did she keep it right there?
I think she did.
Get out with. Did she get out with it? I can't remember.
I think for some, you can never tell if that belt because usually there's like 50 people like running to the ring and chasing people around.
It's like anyone who's not in the bathroom comes running out. It's like, I want to be the 24/7.
I mean, I liken this thing, if you know, like baseball events where like, you know, 7th inning stretch, they have stupid mascots run out and they run around the stadium a couple times and they run back in. People are going to the bathroom, getting popcorn and that. This is why I liken the 24/7. This is literally the bathroom break.
Yeah, it's pretty cheesy.
you can just stick around. It's for the kids. It's for the little kids. Like, it's just absurd. But I've just never seen a man reject it, and he pins the girl for a belt. Like, I found that like ludicrous.
Yeah, why not? Okay. Then we had Bianca versus Dewdrop, which what was I writing here?
Well, she had a interview with Becky before. Like, she had a run-in with Becky before.
Right. Yeah. Becky came in.
And Becky was her usual, you know, great self, like just running down Bianca, and she, you know, what she was saying. I remember she said, you know, something like, and she's right. Like, I had this belt for 3 years, you know, and then I beat you in 26 seconds and all that, and you know, all that stuff. Like, Becky's one of the best on the mic, so always happy to see her, and she's just getting more and more outrageous with her like outfits. So it's
oh my god, I love every outfit. It's like, it's ludicrous. And why is her belt so loose?
Yeah.
I don't get that. I never understood, even when people put it on their head.
Yeah, I seen that.
It's like, why? But yeah, her belt is like hanging like way lower, and like, just tighten the belt up.
I know.
It's just so funny to me.
Yeah,
her outfits are. I love her as a villain, because it's not a villain to me. It's just literally. I know I like a heel. I love her as a heel because she's just like so cheesy. It's like a bit cheesy, and I think it's genius. I love it. I love the glasses.
Yeah,
it was like these glasses were like this thick. It's like, I'm like, why has she got like RoboCop? It's like those movies that were made in the 70s that were about the future.
Yeah,
it's like everyone has like these like super like, where do you even get those? Like,
it's outrageous. Well, her husband dresses outrageously too, so
that's Seth Rollins, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
But I love her just being on commentary and the way she reacts. Like, when Bianca,
her commentary
was,
is great,
power bombing her, and Becky's like, you know.
in the storyline, is Seth Rollins and Becky together? Like,
it's mentioned occasionally. Like, they're never together, but like, you know, one guy said to Rollins not long ago, I think it was Roman Reigns said, you know, something along the lines of, well, you wish you were the star your wife was, or something like that.
Right.
He's like, you're not a superstar. Your wife is, but you aren't. Like, it's just, you know, known that they're together, but they're never in a storyline together. Yeah. And that power bomb was
crazy,
nuts. Like, Dewdrop, you can tell she's nervous because she's not used to being in positions she is with Bianca. Like, she's not used to being picked up and frigging power bombed. She's not, or power bombed off the buckle. She's not used to being put on someone's shoulders and then like flipped onto her face.
Jesus Christ, I know.
Like, I'm like, Bianca Belair is a beast.
She's great. I was like, no, don't do it, Bianca. Don't lift her. I forgot to put Dewdrop in I changed the bottom of our screen because
I noticed that Rhea Ripley's like grabbing her boobs or something.
I don't think that was meant to look like that. I think she's like this, and it's just the way I cropped it.
Yeah,
but that's okay. That looks good. I'll leave that.
Yeah.
So I should add Dewdrop in there, but I gotta make them all small.
Bianca, but again, doesn't do anything for either one. We know Bianca's a beast because she won the Elimination Chamber. Dewdrop is just, she can beat anyone, but don't put her against Bianca or Rhea Ripley. Those are the two who'll beat her every single time.
Oh, so, I know.
Yeah.
Anytime this happens, I always fear like with Bianca even lifting up Dewdrop, I get a little nervous. I'm like, ooh, like if this goes wrong, it's gonna not look good. Like I always get a little bit nervous. And even with Brock Lesnar, lifted whatever that guy is. I don't know any of the men. He lifted that one guy and did like the F5 from the top of the
Austin
entrance
Theory,
or the top of the gate. I think I'm like, oh my god, it's like this is like crazy.
Yeah, it's one of those things where the guy's probably going to land feet first, but still it's from a distance.
Yeah, I mean he didn't get hurt at all. Like the way he fell was like, and that angle was weird too.
Yeah.
It was like shot like it was like a
Yeah.
Citizen Kane angle or
I
something.
know.
Like what is happening here?
The guy was like lying on the floor while taking the shot. I have no idea.
Oh, they thought they were making Citizen Kane. Cut. Let's get another angle, guys. It's like, what is happening here? Like, just shoot the match. Like, I can't. Like, it's like dynamic mode or something. Like, okay, we got to make this look good here.
It's like Hitchcock. Like, they made fun of that in the movie High Anxiety. Like, Mel Brooks shot a conversation between Harvey Korman and Cloris Leachman, and he was under a coffee table, and he was shooting up through the coffee table with them talking.
Yeah. It's just like, what is happening here?
Yeah.
Well, that's all the notes that I had. We're coming up to about an hour. Anything else to discuss? Because I don't want these streams to necessarily go on forever and ever, but I want to make sure we cover everything and give ourselves time to discuss everything. So I think we covered everything pretty good. Do you buy because I buy every WrestleMania no matter what, and I've never missed one. I always get the Blu-ray or whatever they're on. Do you buy the WrestleManias or do you not buy any wrestling stuff? I can't remember.
I don't buy them anymore. I have the first 5 WrestleManias. I have 20, which you gave me. And then I bought 36 because that was the one, I think, in the pandemic. The first one where there was no fans. And that was the one with the Undertaker's last match. And at that point, I thought it would be Cena's last match too. So I wanted to have that as sort of like a memento thing. As it turned out, I didn't need that because the Undertaker, they have his final match in the documentary Last Ride. So I could have just bought that. I did buy that anyway. But
I know we both buy some of the either the documentaries or the sets. Like there's like a set.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do like to. I don't buy anything other. I mean, I buy the sets for the wrestlers themselves, but I don't buy any of the pay-per-views, which you can get.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're cheap. Like it's like occasionally if I see one, like I'll see one at Walmart or something for like $10. I'm thinking, oh, maybe I'll grab this. Like stuff like that. Where it's like I'll grab it for like a one shot viewing, entertainment or whatever.
Yeah.
But I always do grab the WrestleMania, so I've never missed one. I don't know what we're up to now.
I think this year's 38.
So I've got 1 to 38 or 1 to 37. Like I've got every WrestleMania on DVD or Blu-ray if it, or none of them have done 4K yet.
No.
So I'll definitely get that. But yeah, sometimes if I see something cool, I'll grab it. I might grab, there's a women's Evolution set. I don't know how good that set is. Like, is there anything on there that's, that I need to get? But I might grab that.
That might be a good one to grab. I usually only grab like very special ones. The only one I sort of told myself I still needed to get that they haven't done in a format I've liked yet is the DX one. Because I got Hogan.
I get that.
Yeah. Because I have Hogan, Rock, Stone Cold.
Macho. Macho?
Macho. I have the Self-Destruction of the Ultimate Warrior. I didn't get
that also.
Jake Roberts, Bret Hart. 3 Ric Flair ones.
I've got Ric Flair. Yeah, a few of them.
Like the big ones, like Mick Foley.
I don't have that one. Yeah.
Yeah, that I got the special one where it gives you Mr. Socko.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And
I was looking at the VIP experience. They still have VIP tickets for March 27th here in Toronto. After taxes and everything, after all is said and done, it's $750. $750. But what it is it's row 3.
Right.
Ring, like at the ring, row 3. walk down the aisle, take pictures at the ring. All right, you go back, you get like, I think you get like two or three you get 2 or 3 autographs, a frame thing, you get a belt, and you can do photos with, like, I don't know how many, it's like 3 or 4 of the stars, but you can't pick any of these things.
Right.
So you can't be like, I want Charlotte and Becky and Rhea, or it doesn't work. It's who's ever there.
Yeah.
So I've been watching on YouTube other people doing it to see what it's like. And right now, at least in Canada, I think we still have to have the masks and the distancing.
Yeah.
So I saw one that was from January, VIP experience in January. So they got to meet Liv Morgan, who would be cool. But again, it's like the photos are like the person, like it's like this.
Yeah, it's socially distanced.
Right. So it's like she's behind this thing and the other person's in front and distanced. And I'm like, like I could literally take that picture because I Photoshop stuff. I Photoshopped all the girls down here. I can literally put myself there and put her closer and be like, look, I met her. So I don't know. I definitely want to do a VIP. This would be great because it's Rhea fighting Becky.
Yeah.
So there is a high probability it's one of those two that you're going to be meeting.
Right.
Because it's like 2 or 3 male wrestlers and one. It's like 3 in 1.
Yeah.
Or 2 in 1 or something like that. Right. And then like the person who was in last year, it was like Matt Hardy and someone else. I'm like, ugh. And I was like, that's not that. Oh no, it was Alexa Bliss and Matt Hardy. And it's like, okay, that, like Alexa Bliss is cool. It's like Matt Hardy. It's like, I mean, he's all right, I guess, but like, yeah. Now the one in Toronto, Trish Stratus is going to be there because she's hosting it. That's the one that next month. It's like, okay, so maybe there's a chance that you'd meet Trish, which would be cool. I mean, it'd be a whole different story if they say, here, pick your 3 favorites. Then I'll do it, no problem.
Yeah.
Right. Because it's like, then I'll just pick, out of the people that are there. So who's ever at the show, because then I'll do it.
Yeah.
That's a no brainer. I'll be like, yeah, I'll do that. That's awesome. But not if it's like, oh, whoever feels like doing it is doing it. Now, if you get Liv Morgan, I would be okay with that. Like, she's cool. And it might be like Seth Rollins and Liv Morgan and, who else? Who did they have? Who's the other person they had? I don't know, like Rey Mysterio or something. You're like, oh shit, that's pretty cool, right? Like, that's not, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
But then if you get some other people who I don't care at all, like it's not going to be Brock Lesnar.
No.
Right. It's not going to be Charlotte.
No.
It's like, you know what I mean? It's it's not going to be Becky probably.
Right? Becky's a possibility. Sasha's a possibility if she's there.
Yeah. So she might be there. Right. Like, I mean, like I seen Becky at a meet and greet thing, but not where you went up, like them just talking to the fans, but not you going up and meeting them. So
yeah,
it is what it is. But okay, well, I guess we'll end it off there. And so just some quick show notes. We're going to be live tomorrow talking about Dune versus Dune. So we know that Dune wins, but it's really the year. So it's the David Lynch Dune versus the Denis Villeneuve Dune. I don't even know who's showing up to that, to be honest. It'll be us 3, you, me, and Sean, and whoever else. And then the Phantom Zone will return on Saturday at 7:30, and we can talk about Peacemaker. And is Lois and Clark or whatever it's called? Is that on this week?
It's on today.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that, and whatever else comes up, and then Sean and I will be back. We'll be back a week from today to talk about Raw and SmackDown, but then the Tuesday or the Wednesday after that, Sean and I are going to do another 90s comics thing. So I might rotate those, or I might add 90s as a regular weekly thing as well, because people did like that one a lot, and Sean seems to be excited for it. Okay. That'll be it. Anything else, Steve? Are we good?
We're good.
All right. Well, hope to see everybody tomorrow for the Dune versus Dune. And that's it, guys. Until next time.
Hey friends, you've just been listening to J-Man, and he is the smartest person who ever lived. So make sure you like and subscribe.